Battle for Khafji, Gulf States versus Iraq, 1991. On January 29th, an Iraqi armored column launched an attack on the coastal town of Khafji. At the time, there were only a few coalition patrols and light security forces in the area. After capturing the town, the Iraqis set up defensive positions. The following day, a mixed force of Saudi and Qatari troops began a counterattack to take back Khafji. So, I like to play with Iraq actually. At the same time, I don't know if I get a chance to play with Gulf State troops, so there's probably a lot of coalition versus Iraq action, so I'll get my chance to play with Iraq forces then. Let's go with the Gulf States. We have 155 millimeter artillery sections with very little smoke ammunition, a lot of high explosives though. Looks like old American beer. What does Saudi infantry have? Effective combat range is 10. It's a solid infantry unit with a lot of men in the squad. No complaints. What is a Panhard? Yeah, these are minor tanks that are good infantry support. Wheeled vehicles with a gun attached to it. 10 anti-tank rounds, 10 high explosive rounds. So you have to be somewhat careful with how you use them. Speed 33, that's quite a lot for a tank. AMX, this should be this is a Western European tank for a vehicle. There's an autocannon and a machine gun. Also fairly fast. Right, mostly vehicles with some infantry troops attached. Gulf State and Saudi Arabia, right? And the tanks aren't horrible. They're not good though. They're way too old. They're slow too. Okay. 15 turns, that's a huge amount of time for a task such as this. Which means the fighting's probably fairly heavy. I'm not sure how aggressive I should be on the first turn. We need to get to these hills fairly quickly, I'd say. But turn limit wise, we don't have a huge rush. I mean, if we had infantry in it, we would probably still make it there in time. But the quality of our troops is pathetic. Like, if we move in a little bit, we're not firing. So, we can't use these guys to assault, but we might be able to use them to offer support from a distance. Saudi troops aren't exactly any better. Iraq should be Soviet here, I think. Um, I want to move a little bit, but not too much. Can use pawn hearts to trigger any enemy response. And you. Right, we're just gonna spread around a little bit. I'm guessing there's gonna be a tank fire exchange fairly quickly. A decent point to bombard. Not sure if the smoke is to our advantage. Ah, well, whatever. I'm willing to bet that there are units that could fire upon us already. They're just more or less still there, waiting for their time to act. We can't exactly go through the rough patch here, so more or less we're going to have to use that opening to get closer to the city. I'll try to rush a little bit with the lighter vehicles, try to see if there's any kind of a reaction. Still, I don't want to make a bigger push at this point, not until there are actual tanks in position to provide decent fire support. I doubt those APCs have the firepower to punch through even half decent Russian armor. But, I think we're more or less in within effective range. Did I fire there? Yes. I think we can move a little bit, but we shouldn't move too much. We're more or less waiting for the others to catch up with us. Also, the HQ unit should not be going there on first. I'm very cautious in our assault because these units are not built for assaulting a goddamn thing. much ammunition do we have? Not enough to really continuously fire. I think we can spread the fire about. The biggest problem is to actually get into the city at first. Once we're there, we can probably deal with any trouble we find without too much fuss. Because we can break the targets down a little bit. We don't have to go after fight all of them at once. Well, let me make a little bit of a focus fire here. That'll destroy some of the buildings. Yeah, and our infantry is totally worthless. Yeah. Perfect. And this is more or less the problem. I cannot trust my own units at all. If we don't fire at all, we have 2 shots. That's incredibly pathetic. So let's see if we can get some kind of reaction going from somewhere. We could could this, could that. Yeah, I need in many ways the Panthers, the small tanks, are not one of our better units here. I think their weapon is probably good enough to get the job done. And they have the mobility to go to the locations where we might be able to get the good shots. We have immobile tanks, yep, 2 of them. So half the tank group here is unable to do anything. The infantry is routed, so they're not going to be able to do anything. Basically, the entire southern attack group isn't going to go anywhere anymore because of artillery landed near them. 50% of the tanks are worthless, and what, 4 infantry squads are out of the fight, and I haven't even seen a single enemy unit yet. I wasn't exactly expecting much from these units anyway, but I was expecting more. Still nothing. Seriously? Yeah, the autocannons aren't amazing, but you can't exactly stop them with simple APCs and machine guns. The buildings will provide a decent amount of cover for us, I think. Also pretty sure I need to move, because if I wait in the potential artillery fire that's constantly attacking us. I'm basically going to just keep losing more troops before I even get to any kind of a fighting situation. So we won't be able to react to anything by coming from this angle, but at the same time we might actually get to a fight. It's just so pathetic. They should have infantry inside them. Yeah, time to ditch the tanks. Artillery is more or less landing just fine. I don't think I need to do anything about that. Still, there's gonna be tanks, and I try to see their location a bit. Hey, some infantry is back in action. Now spread around a little bit because of the artillery, so they can't get all of us at the single shot. Still not seeing anything. Hello, Mr. Recoilless Gun. Okay, that was very good. Oh fuck. T-54. Not expect something like that. That's pretty old. That is pretty old. It's a good chance that building has something. It's good enough for me. Oh shit. T-54s. Right. Surely one of our tank veterans can see it. No, a bit too much smoke, I guess. It is pretty much in a perfect angle toward what exactly? Yeah, these might be able to see it. Not now, surely by just moving a little bit. Someone's gotta do it. The current positioning will basically screw us over. Not exactly what I wanted. Yeah, it's just not happening. Makes the situation here a little bit more tricky though. I can easily get units there to attack it, but there's a pretty big but about that. Especially now. It has enough armor that I don't think the autocannon could easily penetrate, not the front armor. If I can get on someone else to the rear, then sure. The Panhard might be able to do it, but I don't think it can shoot at it. Well, this is a problem. Can it shoot here? No. Ah, shitty situation. Very shitty now. I doubt its units are all that drastically better than mine, so they can probably fire a couple of times and then that's the end of them too. So if we play our cards right, we should be able to handle it fairly easily, but that doesn't mean we're not gonna lose anything to it. Yeah, there's way too much smoke right in front of us. That smoke will clear though. Also, where the hell is our artillery now landing? Yeah, that's not cool anymore. I'll take blind artillery at this point. Very likely there are tanks positioned all over these flags, so it doesn't particularly matter where the artillery lands. It will be somewhat useful no matter what. I think I'll keep the HQ unit away from all the action. Right, shit. Other tank. Could have been a lot worse. Hello, you might have your... No, you can't say shit. Of course you can't. Because why? No idea. Any one of you has smoke ammunition? Nope. We have 3 units in the same hex, that's catastrophic. I have no idea how good the gun we have is, so I'm inclined to give it a test. Problem is, I would not like to test it with that particular unit. At the same time, it doesn't look like I have much of a choice. Best chance of actually getting something done. Yeah. Trying to force it to switch targets. Also, I can't actually go here because the tank will kill me. No, I would generally want to fire more with this. I want to see what it... Chances of hit are terrible. So this does not appear to be a good long range weapon. It's just terrible accuracy. The power might be there, I suppose, but we're starting to look at pretty big bots at that situation. Okay, we've got to move some tanks closer. Without a doubt, here, for example, there are more enemy units. I'm not sure where exactly we should move things. I'm not sure if I want to break the group all that much. Because if I do that, even minor casualties could be paralyzing for our assaults. On the other hand, if I have a lot of support units to draw upon, a lot of infantry, APCs, tanks, it's pretty much impossible for a tank or two just happen to be positioned here somewhere to make any kind of a serious dent to our progression. Surprisingly little happened. Someone died close by and we're totally worthless. Works both ways though. Just terrible. At least the tanks have enough ammunition that I don't have to worry about running out of anti-tank rounds. Ready for action. Take down the infantry. Gotta get kills. If I go there, I'm basically vulnerable to a lot of fire, so I don't want to do that. Retreating, not good enough. Anyone who goes clear next to that tank is gonna be in a world of hurt. Same time, I can't exactly not go there, so looking for volunteers to go and die. Yeah. Holy shit. We're so suppressed we can't even fire anymore. Still, we wasted one of their shots. Not sure what the best thing to do here is. Do I want to just throw infantry at the tank? Do I want to ignore it? I can pretty much put smoke there and just ignore it for now, but not sure if that's actually a good idea to do. As long as it's there, we are pretty much pinned down here. At the same time, there's a lot of tanks here, and I don't really have the capability of taking them down. I'd have to at least take an APC here, and if I do, the tank is in a great position to fire. So I think at the very least we want to move the tanks a little bit closer. Even if they can't do anything now, there would be... there's a Iraqi HQ unit here. Okay, but we can't actually fire on it though. Oh shit. Now it can fire on us? That's bullshit. That is all kinds of bullshit. Can someone see it? I guess we're just gonna drive additional units there. Also, infantry up. They cannot be unloaded and fight on the same turn. Their HQ unit is gone. So if we can get some kind of a suppression effect going at this point, it'll stick. Well, it's more likely to stick. We could go up here. Right, even I suppose around here somewhere you can spot us. Right. So we can move a platoon of tanks to here. It doesn't even have to destroy the tank, it needs to exchange fire with it. And we need to be in a position to move in to destroy these with some kind of fast attack units. We cannot stay here for more than one turn though. The artillery bombardment we are drawing there is going to be massive, so we're just going to lose troops if we stay there. Where's our bombardment? We could shift the bombardment on top of that tank. And I don't know if that's a horrible idea. It will likely be incredibly ineffective. What the fuck happened there? I actually just cancelled it for no particular reason. because of... I have no idea. Right, but we do have to try to take care of this tank on the next turn. So even if this artillery is somewhat ineffective, it should still add to the suppression, which means less shots it can take. We can't get stuck on these. We have a decent amount of turns, but that doesn't mean we have an infinite amount of turns, so we do need to get something done now. And we have another immobile tank, I'd say. Yeah. Didn't achieve much with the bombardment. Yeah, most of it is actually landing just now. I'm not shifting the bombardment yet. I want to see what happens here. Still can't see the tank. I want to know at what point do I see it. Fishing for a response. Not getting it. Perfect. I'm betting that we're gonna have a lot of targets somewhere near here, even though we might not be currently seeing them. But additional flanking position would still be very, very valuable to us. Right, you. Could I retry this? Aha, we're getting the results on the tank too. Can still probably fire at least a couple of times reaction to something. So, you still need sacrificial units. You, please. No. Just gonna throw infantry at it. Yeah, we lost a single guy in a 11-man group in that assault. That seems like something that I can afford to lose. And he was buttoned, so he certainly lost a shot. He shot once, so another shot lost. And another shot lost. Please retreat, idiots. Right, no reaction anymore. I'm sort of expecting more from them. I can't leave all these squads here. Even no matter how shitty they are still in big trouble. And if I move with these tanks, they cannot fire. Ugh, this is so aggravating. They're such terrible units that you can barely do anything with them. I mean, I could imagine myself maybe using these guys as a defense force in some situations, but trying to assault with units that basically can't do anything, that's pretty tough. I don't care what you see, just fire. Might be your last chance to get to do something. Right. Oh shit. Yeah, there's enemy team there. But no one can see anything. Well, I fired up at it a couple of times. I know it's there, why can't I just see it? Apparently because it's impossible for some reason. I don't dare to really rush it either, even though I know it's there. I don't see what would come out of it for me. Right. We're hoping for the enemy to react basically to our presence here. Presence of our infantry units. React to something. Anything. Well, we have a couple tanks. Actually, we have one tank on here. Probably should be sending in another. You are immobilized, as is tradition apparently. So again, on this side too, we have about 2 tanks that are able to do something. And that's more or less it. Yeah, that's more or less it. Where are we bombarding now? These locations aren't actually that bad. Only this one is. We'll spread the fun around a little bit. I'm expecting tank fire on our units now. They must see us. We're so close to the city. Yeah. There we go. 7 hexes. It fired twice and I think our artillery got a hit on it though. So there's a good chance we might be able to rush it. At the same time, it's not going to be alone there, so yeah, I think it's better if we just let the artillery fall where it's landing right now. At least for the next turn. Their HQ is gone. Retreating isn't good enough. Crew fire. I need them to be routed. Thank you. Of course we can't see them for reasons. I don't understand why this group is retreating so much. Nothing really bad has happened to it. Gotten a few casualties, but nothing exceptional. Right. So the enemy can see here, but that's probably the only place it can see. Right. I guess it's more worrisome that I clearly see where the tank is and I have no sighting of the tank. Fuck. Okay, that wasn't too bad. I was sort of fishing for some kind of reaction. I don't have a huge amount of infantry here. I think the tanks might have some, but even then they don't have all that much. At least I'm seeing something. But what am I seeing? Yeah, I don't really want to react to those. Okay, I'm actually surprised that there weren't infantry squads here to support the tanks somehow. Yeah, take the suppression fire. If these guys are retreating, yeah, that'll be fine. Why the hell are you just pinned? Try to think of a way to assault that tank, and I don't have a good one. Because, yeah, even if I can drive tanks next to it, then it wouldn't be able to fire back. In all probability, my units couldn't fire on it either. So, yeah. What are the two targets? Four targets? Well, at least the tank can't see me. Panhard might be able to get the tank, but even that's a big goddamn if. It has a retreating rifleman squad in the same hex, which means that if I go there, it will destroy my APC. Well, at least we're making new friends here. And just knowing that the tank is there is very, very, very valuable information for me. And he's right, totally worthless. Well, if we're not gonna assault the tank, we need to be in a position where we can push toward destroying it. But he's not gonna be alone, which is the bigger problem. Yeah, I could definitely get right next to it, but could I still fire? That's the bigger question. Maybe? Certainly see it. Is there another unit I could just sort of drive there? Something that isn't, yeah, Panhard maybe. Also, what are the units I see? Right, nothing particularly interesting. They should drive to the rear though. The thing is, I don't know anything about what's in this building. Just saying it's incredibly risky to try to do this, but at the same time I'm sort of inclined to do it anyway. We have at least 2 tanks here, maybe 3 that could attempt to do something. It's worth a shot. Yeah, these cannot actually do anything. Wrong tank firing us. Yeah, that was sort of expected. And now we have enough suppression that we can't do shit. Ah, fuck it. Well, we sort of got the gist of it, but yeah, no. And shit. So it's getting worse and worse and worse. Anyone have smoke ammunition? You. We need smoke there. Right. Ah, you can see it. Why though? We're gonna have to at least try to take it out. Even if that doesn't work, it might suppress it enough that we're not gonna be horribly mangled by it. Well, it's buttoned pretty tightly at least. For what that's worth. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to fire on this one at the moment. Well, that was a weird thing to try to do, but we tried to do it anyway. Okay, where's our artillery landing? It's pretty important. Yeah, that's I'm uncomfortable with how close it's getting to our troops. Still, it's a bit risky to even fire at those locations because it's blind fire. Don't do it. We retreated to a building and immobilized our own ass. One shot taken, one shot taken. Scout taken fire all that many times. This is an exception. Zeroing down again. The northern tank, on the other hand, is not. For fuck's sake, people. I'm trying to lure them to fire on this. So, yeah, it's already not going to do anything, so in that matter, it doesn't matter. Terrible. Can you see anyone to press? Yeah, that's pretty much all over the place. My biggest problem is the weapon squad. I don't dare to really take anything heavy next to it, because if it reacts, it's a loss of a tank. It's pretty high cost for taking out an APC. Right, that'll do it. Okay. Wasn't enough, but we survived. Also, the kill should affect the morale of the rest. Okay. 5 targets. And tank is gone. Right, they're pretty much routed or retreating here, so the few kills we got are gonna go a long way in helping us secure this. It's not done fully yet, though. Retreating unit there, and it's not reacting. That's all I wanted to know. Mobilized. Still, he can see something. Button. We have a full platoon of operational tanks. That should count for something. I think I'll move with the infantry with the APCs. We certainly have enough time to do that. Yeah, I don't really see why I shouldn't do that. That's bad. You wouldn't happen to have smoke ammunition, of course you don't. You don't have smoke. You have a smoke. Why aren't you putting up smoke? Bullshit. We literally have 12 smoke ammunition, so what's the problem? You can let the tank platoon take care of it, but wrong. We have to let it take care of it. There are 6 turns left and it'll take some time to reach these locations. In fact, might be better if we start to bombard the last locations. I mean, it might not take all that much time to actually take them, but you never know. If there's even a half decent stiff resistance there, that might be a couple of turns might be enough for us to actually lose the mission still. Don't know if we should push things. You don't have shots left, don't try to push it. I need to. You can already shoot the tank. And you shot the tank and you didn't hit. Right, surely there's someone who can still do something. Something besides the tanks. I would not like to move them while there's enemy tanks basically at the next hex trying to shoot at us. That's gonna be a tough one. We need to get rid of the Iraqi squad there. We get rid of the APC next to it, but that's a luxury. Right, what do we need? I'm not dead, but I'm pretty close to it. We need to do something about that squad. Where could we possibly even see it? Yeah, this is a mandatory suppression. If this doesn't work, we're gonna lose the other one. Retreating. Probably that'll be good enough. I don't think it is, but I'm not sure if I have much of a luxury to do anything about it. I need to be able to do something about one or either one of those teams. I need to go closer, otherwise it's not effective. Rifle squad destroyed. That's pretty goddamn effective. Right, so it's up to you to take care of the other team. We can't afford to go right next to it. Right, we didn't exactly get where we wanted, but we're close enough. It can't fire all that much, probably just once. That's pretty much it. Yes, that's pretty much it. I might be able to do something. No, it's just the 2 tanks here. 3 tanks. This tank has to go. So it's incredibly risky, but someone's gonna have to go and do it. Get rid of the crew too if you can. I don't want to bring the tanks in first there. there could be infantry in here that can take down my tank too. It takes 2 turns for me to get the rest of the flags at this point. We have 6 turns left. Well, 4 I would say. So there's no need to do any kind of mad rushing at this point. This can't fire even once. Not even once. That's a lot of groups that are perfectly capable of taking action. It's a nightmare to try to move vehicles in here. You need to take on the infantry. They fired quite a few times already though. Right. Tanks cannot move first. All valuable information for me. Right, take control of some of these buildings. So artillery coming to the eastern section of the remaining flags, so we have to be somewhat careful how far we want to push things. Oh fuck, what did you do? I wanted to go there and there, but yeah. Actually, it's gonna use the road, because it's a easier passage even though the enemy can clearly fire on it. Trying to be pretty far away from the action. There's a crew somewhere, I need to get rid of it. It's not typically all that dangerous, but it's actually very annoying and it's spotting all my units here, so it needs to just go away. Right, immobilized. We could lure the T-40-54 to fire at our APCs. Still, the tanks would have a better chance of it. The thing is, if we lure them to fire at the APCs, even if this gets destroyed, it's not gonna matter. It's far enough away from those. At the same time, maybe we could just fire on it. I mean, why not? Our anti-tank gun has a range of 6. Yeah, that's 3 tanks. Not exactly unexpected. I think this is more of a reaction force if we start taking things, so there's gonna be a group of tanks driving south. So not APCs popping up and getting themselves killed isn't all that useful. I think we should try to focus on basically countering them coming south more than anything else. Which means maybe we shouldn't bring the tanks up here either. We're gonna be outnumbered. We're basically bringing our own tanks one at a time for them to shoot at. We bring them here, they're gonna have to make the first moves. They're not on any flags, so we don't have to go after them. That's the important part. If we can force them to come here, they're in a pretty bad position. Don't want to get closer. Well, this is a weaponless decoy, more or less, for them to shoot at. We have to shoot at the gun. It's somewhat worthless as a target, but it still has the hunting power to kill all our APCs, so I can't exactly just ignore it. Retreating again! Holy shit. Yeah, the T-54Bs are like 50% machine guns, right? 3 machine guns. Ugh. You are so fucking dead. I can't really help with that though. It's not a huge sacrifice to lose an infantry squad, and it got us a lot of valuable information anyway. I don't want to particularly fire on their APC, but we might as well take it as target. And that was more or less it. The artillery seems to be landing in more or less interesting locations, so I don't really see a need to do anything about that. Ah, crap. And the recoilless gun is still in action. I mean, it suffered a massive amount of damage, kills and all that, and still it just accurately fires the targets. Luckily it only destroyed the decoy APC, so my fighting power isn't actually diminished at all. It still isn't a totally empty thing though. I'm gonna try to bombard this tank as much as possible. Still, what exactly can we see? In. I think I'll pull back a little bit. Can't exactly evade them entirely, but I'm outside of their main weapon ranges, so that'll help quite a bit. Also, you can fire again. Fire on the vehicle, please. Infantry will die as a bonus. No targets. You see an enemy, but you have no targets. I still can't believe the recoil is functional. The tank might be able to fire somewhere here. Have to be a little bit careful. Certainly can fire out there. Oh shit. I'm shifting the artillery right on top of them. Don't think I can destroy them, but I might be immobilize, button them up, that sort of stuff. Hmm. There's still a capable unit there, ready to function. Still don't want to rush it. Although I do have to do something fairly quickly. I need to be able to take advantage of any change in their morale. I sort of very much want to... Okay. I don't think the infantry can react to this tank. If they do, they can destroy it, so it's very risky. They couldn't. Even if their tank can fire at me, it's not going to be a good idea for them. It's waste of shots. Makes them just more vulnerable for my actual attacks. You can probably take down the APC with a super overkill now. still ready. Bullshit. Can you move? Surprisingly, yes. I just want to know if there's infantry here. That way I can bring in tanks. Right. We need to move toward. Ooh, do you have long-range anti-tank weapon? Yes, you do. I think it's worthwhile to try to shoot at the tank. Either force it to react or basically get a lucky with the anti-tank weapon at this distance. I would not be comfortable with the infantry unit shooting with an anti-tank weapon continually turn after turn. It'll get the hit sooner or later. So we're mostly retreating. These two sons of bitches. We could go here. There might be something in the building. Alternatively, just go and shoot at the tank. Yeah, this doesn't work. This is not that kind of a unit. We could go right next to it and blast it, but nothing else will probably work. I need to take a look if there's anything in that building. I need the infantry gone. If we go there, we're probably dead, but I need the infantry gone. Not just driven a little bit further away, I need it gone. I'm not sure what to do with the APCs, we really don't believe here. We sort of have to. Don't think my autocannon can destroy a tank. Maybe on the rear or side armors. But the other tank will provide cover, so it's not going to be that easy. Still, I don't particularly see why we shouldn't encourage it to leave this location at least. Also, where exactly is the artillery landing again? Yeah, I thought so. This is a bit risky to stay here. Might work out just fine. Better not chance it though. Shit. I can't go there or I'll be destroyed. This is a more or less, I guess, a decent location to be in then. Next turn or two will decide how this will go in the end. They still have technically enough troops, at least a platoon of tanks, at least, that could turn things around very easily. But yeah, it's not quite that easy. It got 2 shots, more or less, and destroyed my APC with artillery. Ready, yeah. This was terrible for us. It was retreating and now it's ready. So yeah. Retreat. I just want you to take the flag. I want you to force them to make some kind of a move there. If we have to suicide some infantry there, I'll do it. We'll get 2 shots on it. There we go. You can't ignore the infantry in every situation. It just doesn't work. You have to pay for it. Are we gonna move? We can't move on the tank yet. The artillery is landing in India. So, at the very least, we'll have to wait until this is ended. Still, it's just a 1 turn of artillery. Still, it is 1 turn of artillery. Probably can't fire here. Well, live and learn. Well, that's 1 shot he's taken now. We're within striking distance, so we could probably drive. Yeah, yeah. Assuming there's no infantry in any of these, we can do it. So that's a pretty big assumption. Shit. Didn't think they would be able to fire here. I just can't really move. Because I want to keep the lines of fire open. I might want to use them myself. I could start firing on the tank there. It's not much, but we have an anti-tank weapon, so ignore us at their peril, I guess. Ooh, I'll take that. If I can get this kill, it'll make a big difference down there. Right, it's buttoned now. What's that's worth? Really have the capable of taking it down. Shit. They still hold a single flag. 2 flags. Still, if that doesn't get them moving, nothing. Right, I was supposed to see if there's anyone who would still move. Shit. Right, that's under our control too. Yes. So, pretty much 3 tanks, maybe 4, and dump the side things. It's artillery landing. It's not landing, as far as I'm concerned. They have to move. If they do, they'll die though. Yeah, they're trying to retake things now. Correction, they are retaking things. It's a group of APCs coming from the east. A lot of infantry too. Wasting their shots. It's pretty bad for us. Yeah, there's at least 3 vehicles now to move here. Two APCs that I can see. I want to know what the third one is before I can make any big moves here. But there isn't really all that much to do anymore. You still managed to miss. I can't drive there, they'll shoot at me. Positive side, I don't need to do that either. In fact, I'm not sure I want to try to go for the APC, even though I could kill it. I'm not sure what that would really solve here. Hell do you see? Take it. The infantry is a bigger threat to me than the vehicles are. Crap. You can see me. Yeah, this is not a good place to be. Still, that's not a horrible target to shoot at. Because we do have to go into that pick somehow. Yeah, I don't think we're going to win this exchange of fire though. Do we even have a unit that could possibly move there? I don't think so. It would have to be a suicidal mission for a vehicle of some sort. Okay. Immobilized, immobilized. I mean, I can try to go there, but that is risky. So it's not like it's not doable. But there's 3 tanks that will immediately start firing on you at close range. Still soon, it's not like I have a lot of options. I think we can do something about that. We have enough time to wait for a single shot of artillery to land too. It's not pretty, but it's doable. Where is it landing? Not sure why most of the artillery is gone exactly. We experienced counter artillery, I guess. Ah, well, it is what it is. Not much we can do about it. There we go. Right. Now the game is on. Everyone's going for the flags as fast as they can. We don't dare to move too much. We're still in a position where there's a lot of tanks moving about. But I sort of have to. I'd like to see what's happening here, you know. Right, so there's probably a tank there and a tank there. I'm guessing they're throwing everything they have now at the few remaining flags. So we have to do the same. We'll have one more turn after this. Has to be sufficient. I think the biggest problems we're gonna face are here. Here they have enough firepower that they could probably hold me off. Everywhere else, no. They can cause me grief, but that's it. Maybe I should go for these. I don't need to actually attack them yet, but I need to be within striking distance of them. Yeah, it's pretty much a death sentence to anyone who goes there. Same time, someone's going to have to go there. Not now necessarily, but on the next turn it's basically next turn it's a must. No more ifs about it. So we might want to get into a position to attack them from different directions. There's still a little bit of infantry coming here, so I don't want to throw all infantry at the north. We could easily lose here too. Right, I think we're going to have to move the tanks around a little bit. still don't want to push it, because if they get a kill here, our ability to take them out on the next turn is questionable at that point. Final turn. One shot, two shots. They have maybe 6 in total. 3. And with any luck, that's actually from a single tank. So, time to make some moves. Not bad. Button and repeat. The bigger tanks have to be the last one to move. Infantry has to take the brunt of everything. There is enemy infantry somewhere here, so we need to be in a position to counter it. Yeah, we are not. They'll basically take flags if I don't get them somehow. Someone's have to go here and die. Do it. Again, I don't want to start with any kind of a vehicle. Mobilize. And it fired. It was already buttoned. So I think it might be able to react once at most, then it's all over for him too. And he's not gonna react to anything. So I think we're pretty much clear to go and finish the job there. Now it's a matter of can we hold back the infantry too. It cannot be the leader who takes the first move. That could still cripple things. Everything else will more or less work in our favor. Miss still taking that shot. Can't believe you guys can't kill them. Last hope. Leader of the rescue. Still couldn't kill him. Well, we have a lot of little units here that might be able to do it. They're simply going to abandon the tanks if nothing else. Pan hard. I'm gonna leave a unit in that text too, same as with the other flag texts. You can't open fire at the same turn. Piece of shit. Yeah, the also cannon that these tanks have is not a anti-tank weapon. Well, we can at least contest everything here, so that's something. Did I miss something? No. Yes, I did. Shit, I don't want to lose a tank, but I really need to fire on that X with something. Because it's gonna take flags, and there's nothing I can really do about it. Screw it. No, they surrender. Yay. Surely we're not bombarding anything. Well, we got most of the flags no matter what happens with their final turn. I think we got all of them, because if you're so suppressed that you're retreating or routed, you can't actually capture anything. Still wasn't actually great for us. But kill-wise, we won the fight and we got most of the flags, at least. Marginal victory, moderate losses.